So this video is going to be a bit about my journey into how I started online business, how I actually got to where I am today, where I'm in Marbella right now with the boys, with Geronimo and some of my clients. And I just want to talk about my journey and how I got into the position I am today and the action steps I took. So I actually started pretty young. I actually started about 3 years ago when I was 13, 14 years old. And I actually started like this dropshipping store. I think everybody started like that in online business with some sort of like dropshipping website or something like that. But it never really worked out because what I learned from that is that people don't buy any random stuff on the internet, right? At the end of the day. And what I thought at the time was that anybody could just buy anything, just if I market it properly. But I marketed it really badly and I got zero sales. So that kind of opened my eyes into what I actually need to properly do to be able to achieve the results that I see people talking about on the internet. So from that, I kind of learned that nobody would buy anything from the internet, that you need to actually have a good product and or service, and that it's really important that the marketing is dialed. So from that dropshipping website, I actually tried like multiple different products, multiple different, angles and markets, but it didn't work out at all. Obviously, I didn't have any budget at the time, like maybe super low, $100, something like that. So nothing. And from that, the experiences I learned basically led me to starting like some sort of agency, a web design agency, because I was building like the Shopify websites, and I thought, well, if I learned how to build a website, why don't I just like sell that? Because that's what I was actually spent all my time doing, not actually marketing the product, but just building like the website and all that, which was kind of low leverage now that I think about it, because I just spent all the time building the product and finding the product, whereas I didn't get any eyeballs at the end of the day. So that was like the main thing I learned, and that led to me starting my web design agency. From that, from that web design agency, I actually signed like 5 clients, but they were all at like super low ticket, like 250 USD. So at the end of the day, what I learned from what I sort of like took from the dropshipping store to the web design agency is that my product needs to actually be good, and the marketing. So I actually did cold calls for a long time, and for about 3 months or so, just trying to get these clients. And the websites that I would build were actually good. People were buying them, but obviously it was super low ticket, 250 USD. So I probably made about 1.2K USD in a span of 6 months, which is absolutely terrible, by the way. So yeah, that kind of experience actually led me to meet a lot of new people. I met a lot of people in the agency space. I met a lot of people in the info space. And from there, I started networking and networking and networking until the point where I started info and scaling other businesses. Because I actually started working with someone, right, as like an AI developer, and then transitioned to growth up. And from there, I started getting referrals to my coaching program. So I think it's really important, especially in, I don't know, the stage that you're currently in life. If you've got a business doing, 10, 20K a month, right? At the end of the day, the most important part is your network. Because if you know a guy that knows a guy, like you're going to get way further than if you don't have a network. So the network is really what got me to this position right now in Marbella, on the yacht, doing all of that. So from actually building up this network, right, I was able to get more clients through the door, get better results like I explain in my videos. And it really opened my eyes into what you can achieve with online business, not just the numbers, but what you actually see, marketed, like the 100K months, the villas, and the lifestyle. All that opened my eyes into how to actually run a proper online business, and especially the marketing. The marketing is the most important part in every single business, because that's how you get clients at the end of the day. So the way you market a product, from what I learned in my 3 years of business, is the most important part of scaling a business to like the six figure months, the even the seven figure months, the marketing and the brand. That's literally the most important part. So yeah, this video has just been kind of short, talking about my story, because it's a 3 year experience at the end of the day, and I just wanted to share that and put that on the internet. So at whatever point you are in your business, in your life, you can maybe look at me and maybe relate and create action steps around that to get to the next level. Even me, like I look up to a bunch of different people and create action steps around that, and I ask them questions and all of that. So yeah, you need to really study what other people do and create action steps. Not just talk about, not just have your day to day unstructured. Actually understand what you're going to do every day and create a list, and that's how you're going to level up in your business.